Welcome to CHI-NOG 5. My name is Tom Kasprinsky. I'm one of the CHI-NOG organizers. So I want to kind of do a quick introduction and also talk about the agenda for today, in case some people are kind of coming in. So we'll start our sessions at 8:30. We'll have a break at 10, and then lunch around noon. Another break at 2:30. And then at 5 o'clock, from 5 to 8, we're going to have a dinner, a social, and giveaway. It's going to be on the third floor, so just out the doors here, elevators to the third floor. We'll have instructions, obviously, how to get there. I just want to give a little bit of background. We started in 2013. This is our fifth event, and this is the first time we're actually moving to a full-day agenda format. Before, we did kind of a smaller 3-hour, 4-hour events. So this one is the first time we're doing, so hopefully everything will go okay. We are a vendor-neutral conference. We try to focus on the networking technologies and most importantly, create a kind of a networking community here within Chicago Midwest region. Kind of want to talk about the attendees. So even though it's called Chicago Network Operators Group, it's not only a local conference. As you could see, we have people from all over the U.S., from Midwest, East Coast, West Coast, and Central, including we have people registered from England, Netherlands, and also Singapore. So welcome. Thanks for coming. In terms of our attendance, on the bottom, if you could see, we started off with just 10 people, went up, and keep on growing. That little dip over there is you don't want to have any events on a Father's Day weekend. So. So that's why I want to explain that one. But yeah, last event we had about 65 people filled out. This as well filled out with over 120 people. So it's kind of tight, but more cozy, and you can meet your neighbor. So a little bit more stats. Like I said, about 120 people that registered. But the key thing I want to show is that it is a very technical conference. Half the people here, 40%, are network engineers, network architects. And then we have some executives from within the telecom company as well, industry. Talk about the industry, telecom's the biggest part of it, 25%. Then we have higher education, universities, cloud hosting, consulting, and on and on. So our sponsors, I'm very grateful for the sponsor support of our community. So the way we operate this conference is just to kind of break even, not to charge a lot of money for the registrations or anything. We're not a tax-exempt organization yet, but that's something we're going to try to do for the next one. So we had different levels of sponsorship: Diamond, Gold, and Silver. Diamond sponsors Service Central, Gold, Nexum, AIM6, and Juniper Networks. And then our Silver sponsors Carrero, Cumulus, and United Internet Exchange. So please make sure to check them out, and let them know you appreciate their support, especially in the early stages. So we're going to try something new this time. We're going to try table topics, and the idea behind this is throughout the day, if you wouldn't mind just going to topics.chinog.org and filling out 3 topics you're interested in. During the social, we'll have certain tables designated based on the most common topics people want to talk about. So the idea is, if you are interested more in discussing certain technologies than just kind of meeting other people, there's something to attract you. So if you wouldn't mind going there and just kind of filling out throughout the day, that would be great. We do have a mobile app, so if you like, you can download it. That's where you're going to find all the information on the agenda, speakers info, Wi-Fi access, previous events. Also, any links to table topics, or also survey, and I'll talk about the survey in a little bit. Or you can just go on our website, CHI-NOG.org, and at the bottom there's a link to that. A lot of people kind of ask me, what can you do to kind of help and stay up to date? So obviously you can tell your friends and your coworkers. I think that's the best way. You can follow us on Twitter _CHI-NOG_. Retweets help a lot, kind of spreading the word. You can also subscribe to our news updates. It's very, there isn't a lot of stuff we send out, maybe 3 or 4 times a quarter or something, so you won't be spammed. Also, we started a new Facebook page, so if you go to Facebook, Chicago Network Operators Group, then you can go in there as well. program committee. So I want to thank Brian McGann, Jason Kraft, and Jason Gooley, if you guys wouldn't mind stand up, working on the program and getting all the speakers and everything. So. I want to give special thanks to Tracy and Kenny, who are outside. They did a lot of work helping us move from that 3-hour event to a full day. They have a lot of experience logistically in managing events, and they volunteer a lot of their time to make sure everything is working smoothly. So thank you very much. So now we'll have Ron Windward do a quick opening remarks from our diamond sponsor. Might want to use this mic.
I can talk. And then just sure. Okay, good morning, everybody. Thanks, Tom. Congratulations, guys. I just want to say thank you for what you're doing here. This is really exciting. There's, you've got to sell out of 120 people here, a full day event. It's really nice to see what you're doing with the community. Thank you for your hard work, and we're very excited to be a part of it. And just congratulations. This is really great. So. I wanted to talk a little bit about Server Central real quick. Server Central is a data center and co-location company. We're headquartered proudly here in Chicago. Got a lot of network here in Chicago and a couple different data centers around the world. But we think it's really neat to be here in Chicago, be a part of this community. So a perfect opportunity to combine the both of them. Wanted to talk a little bit about some trends we're seeing real quick, 5 minutes. Everybody's network is going to be different. The things that people are seeing in their network are all going to be different, but we have the opportunity to see a lot of different applications for our different customers, from web hosting to web application providers to software as a service to VoIP providers. So we see a lot of different things, and there are some common trends that we're seeing in customer installs. We're seeing a lot of changes in virtualization. Move towards more containers than VMware stuff or virtual machines. There seemed to be a big rush to VMware, and now some lessons are being learned independently, and everybody, some people are just maybe coming away from virtualization. On the vendor side, we're seeing virtualization in appliances. So we're seeing virtual routers, we're seeing virtual route reflectors, we're seeing virtual VMware or virtual machine-based DDoS mitigation detectors. So that's a pretty neat thing to see, where the appliance is moved to compute, and you get a lot of the same functionality that you might get. Some say performance-wise, but maybe for flow analytics or detection and that kind of thing. It's neat to see the virtual appliance take hold. Bare metal, although, is still very strong, and in fact, as compute becomes more powerful, you're seeing machines with an enormous amount of RAM. So bare metal is still very strong. Pixie booting, we're seeing replacing some of the need for some virtualization, as it's easy to quickly reformat and reprovision a server over the network. We're seeing a lot more of that now. Storage, we're seeing a lot of storage pushed to the network. We've always had SAN and NAS, but now, maybe with virtualization or maybe with the need for how much data we're creating, we need a place to store it and access it quickly. So we're seeing a big push this past year in storage on the network. And as network operators, we need to be able to support that and make it resilient and fast and low latency and everything that we do as network operators. We're seeing more decentralization. So it makes sense, but traditionally a lot of times customers hosted their things in one data center and one location, and now we're seeing that get pushed to the edge. More Anycast stuff, getting your application, getting your data closer to the edge, closer to the customer, is something we're seeing a lot of. So let's see. SDN is a real thing. It's not it's not one thing. You know, it means a lot of different things, kind of like how cloud means a lot of different things. But we are doing a lot of exciting stuff with it at Server Central. I kind of personally feel that it's a tipping point of stability and acceptance, where people are really kind of saying, you know, the technologies make sense, the hardware kind of supports it. We're in a little bit more mature code versions on the hardware that it's needed to support. Automation and DevOps, this stuff is really neat in the networking world. You know, I personally feel that, you know, I've been in this almost 20 years now. It was very stale and stagnant for a long time, and now with the push of web applications, really, I think we're seeing developers and we're seeing fresh ideas in networking, and that's, you know, the SDN is a perfect example of that. We're seeing, you know, people with good ideas who have a different perspective. They come from the DevOps world and are good networkers too. So, you know, that's neat to see, I think. Obviously, 10 gig is the new 1 gig. We're seeing 40 gig, 100 gig real installs of this type of stuff. The 10 gig stuff creates its own challenges. I think that you have to, especially with replication, you have to have the ability to really handle all of these bursts of 10, 20, you know, 40 gig LACP connected servers as they push throughout the network. So our core has to grow, and we have to be able to, you know, support that low latency resiliently. So, and then IPv6, get moving, everybody. We're at 20% of a /8 left. That's 3.3 million IPs, but we're seeing a large increase in customer requests from them as well. So, one other final note I wanted to say was look around this room. You know, looking over the guest list and the attendee list, there are really a lot of smart people in this room. So I'm personally somebody who likes to network and you know, get to know the people in your peer group, in your you know, in the room here. See what other people are doing. We don't know everything. You know, learn from each other and tap, you know, make connections and tap your resources in your community. It's you know, everybody likes to help everybody else, and this is a great opportunity to do that. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Okay, next thing I want to talk a little bit was on the roadmap. So we're hoping to do two of these a year. Hopefully either September or November as the next one. We're looking for, what is wrong with this mic? We're looking for speakers. So if you know anyone, or if you're interested, if you know anyone, or if you don't know anyone, but would definitely like them to come down here and speak, please let us know. We'll be as persuasive as we can to get them down here. Also looking for sponsors. So if you work for a company that might be interested, please let us know. And we're going to try to grow this as big as we can. So hopefully if we can double like we did last time to 200, that would be awesome, and attract the experts and leaders within the industry here. Survey and giveaway. So one of the things I want to talk about is the surveys help a lot, even though people don't like to do them. We have a little bit of motivation for you. If you do fill them out, we're going to be giving away a drone and a GoPro camera. That's thanks to Nexum and their partner Arista, who donated them. So thank you for that. If you could go to feedback.CHI-NOG.org, probably towards later on of the day. It's about a 5-minute survey, not too long, but kind of gives us a better direction of where we should go. We'll do the drawing at the social at about 6 p.m. You have to be there too to obviously get it. T-shirts, one last thing I want to give special thanks to Jeff and Jamie from Service Central that helped with the design. They did a great job designing those T-shirts, so thank you very much for all the help with that. That's all I had. So thank you for coming. Hopefully you're going to enjoy the conference.